Let's put it underneath here. I'll welcome everybody. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I couldn't quite hear that. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Oh, that was much better. It's great to see you all here on this wonderful Shabbat evening, which is also during the festival of Hanukkah. It's great to have a reasonable house here, given that half our membership is down on the peninsula, and they're enjoying Shabbat right now, even as we speak. They should be starting up their service. It's really great to have you with us, though. We have some guests here from America, from Pennsylvania. Welcome. And guests from Geelong, and even guests from Malvern. So there you go, people from everywhere. And I want to explain the order of the service this evening, because it'll be a little bit different from what you're used to. First of all, my name is Rabbi Fred Morgan. I'm emeritus rabbi of this community. And it's a real pleasure for me to have the opportunity to be joining Sharon in leading the service this evening. The service will begin with our normal Kabbalat Shabbat, so if you'd like to join in with that, the music that you're familiar with, that would be great. It will be starting on page 126 in the Siddur. But before we get to Lecha Dodi, which is really the formal entry into Shabbat, we're going to light our Chanukiot. Now, if you've brought a Chanukiah with you this evening, that's great, and I hope you've put it on the tables. If you haven't brought your own Chanukiah, there are plenty here that the synagogue has provided. But we've got a little bit of an issue, because though we're starting Shabbat early, before the sun actually sets, the Hanukkah candles are supposed to burn past the nighttime, the setting of the sun, for at least a half an hour. And anybody who's been lighting Hanukkah candles will know that they last about a half an hour. So we're not going to make it with your Hanukkah candles, or with the beautiful, colorful Hanukkah candles that most of us are lighting. However, these Hanukkah candles, now, you call those Hanukkah candles? These are Hanukkah candles, to quote Crocodile Dundee. And so these will last right through into the hours of darkness. So on the basis of that, we're not treating this as the second day of Hanukkah, but we're actually entering the new day of Hanukkah. Is that okay with everyone here? Yeah, I just had to explain that for the halachic, the stringent halachists, legalists among us. Okay, after we welcome Hanukkah, then we'll welcome Shabbat and continue with our Shabbat evening service. So we're beginning on page 126. Sharon, could you lead us into Ma Yafeh Hayom?
Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We'll turn to page 128 with the words of Ki Yishmera Shabbat. כי ישמר השבת ישמרני, כי ישמר השבת ישמרני, אותי לעולד בינו וביני, אותי לעולד בינו וביני.
Shabbat
כי ישמר
shalom,
השבת
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat
כי
shalom,
ישמר
Shabbat
השבת
shalom,
ישמרני, אותי לעולד בינו וביני, אותי לעולד בינו וביני. At the top of the page, we'll continue with Dodi Li. Dodi li bani lo haroeh bashoshanim. Dodi li, Dodi li bani lo haroeh bashoshanim. Dodi li mizot Torah min hamidbar, mizot Torah min hamidbar. Dodi li bani lo haroeh bashoshanim. Dodi li mekuteret mor levona, mor levona. Dodi li. Dodi li bani lo haroeh bashoshanim. Dodi li Shabbat shalom, 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 Shabbat shalom.
Well, as I wandered around the hall just then, I noticed that a lot of people seem to be having difficulty with some of the lyrics. So let's sing a little song in English, which have very simple lyrics. And I really want to hear you lift the roof of the synagogue. Okay, David? Yes, okay, good. And the words are like this. One little candle, one little candle, one little candle burning bright. Light the menorah, because it is Chanukah tonight. Okay, you all have that? Yeah? Of course, this isn't the first night of Chanukah, is it? And it is the second day, but we're moving into the third night. So we have to sing it 3 times. Each time we change the number, of course. You got that, don't you? Okay. Let's give it a go. This is really designed for 5-year-olds, but, it's okay. We can all be young at heart. Here we go. Light the menorah, light the menorah, light the menorah, burning bright. light the menorah. Sorry, what have I said? I misled you, didn't I? And no one said anything. One little candle, one little candle, one little candle burning bright. Light the menorah, light the menorah, because it is Hanukkah tonight. Two little candles, two little candles, two little candles burning bright. Light the menorah, because it is Hanukkah tonight. Three little candles, three little candles, three little candles burning bright. Light the menorah, because it is Hanukkah tonight. Now, aren't we lucky that it's only the third night of Hanukkah? How many nights will we have to sing on the final night of Hanukkah? How many? I can't hear anything here.
8.
8, okay, good. And do you know why we light 8 candles? Why do we light 8 candles? Oh, gosh, Brenda, the oil burnt. Well, we need a bit more than that. What's the miracle that happened at Hanukkah?
There was only enough for one night and it burned for 8.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for humoring me. There was only enough oil to light the menorah and keep it going for one day, right? After the Greeks had taken the temple and they despoiled the temple, that's a word that you use with 7-year-olds, despoiled. Anybody know what that means? Yeah, messed it up, like a bedroom, like a child's bedroom. Oh, vandalized, that's very good, okay. So after the Greeks had taken the temple in Jerusalem and vandalized it, they could only find enough sacred or sanctified oil to last one day in keeping the menorah alight. The menorah, that's the 7-branch candlestick that we have, right? But the oil lasted 8 days, and that was enough time for a runner to go find a priest who was still manufacturing the oil, bring it back, and reset the menorah. Is that a miracle? Yeah, I think it's a miracle. It's just a little miracle, but it is a miracle. Now here's a bigger miracle. Can you tell me when the wars between the Maccabees and the Seleucid Greeks began?
167 BCE.
Sorry?
167 BCE.
Oh, well, did I say that's a miracle? 167 before the Common Era. Okay? That's well over 2,000 years ago. Those are the events that we're celebrating this evening. And the real miracle, and thank you for that, the real miracle is that we're still celebrating it. Isn't it? Isn't it extraordinary that as a community, as a people, Am Yisrael, that we can still be celebrating the events of Hanukkah today? There's a more recent event. Yeah, you're right. It is very special. There's a more recent event in our history that is also associated with Hanukkah. Do you know what it is? It's the foundation of the State of Israel. Why do I say that? You see, you thought this was going to be easy, didn't you? No. Well, that was also a miracle. According to some people, that's a miracle. That's why the Hallel Psalms are recited in Mizrahi synagogues for Yom HaTzmaut, because the foundation of the State of Israel is, in their eyes, a miracle. And I think it should be in our eyes too. It's a remarkable thing that happened. But here's the real miracle, that a very, very secular Jewish fellow who worked and lived out of Vienna by the name of Theodor Herzl actually wrote an essay on Hanukkah. and how important this festival is to the identity of the Jewish people today. And he wrote that long before we had Chanumas, or Christmaka, or whatever it's called in America. In other words, Hanukkah was to him important solely as a Jewish festival, not because it's an answer to Christmas or anything else, but because it says something about Jews, not about all peoples, or about Judeo-Christians, if there was such a thing. I'm sorry, David? They don't like the term Judeo-Christian, no, and he wouldn't have. It says something about the Jewish people, and what it says is that we are resilient, that we do what is necessary when it has to be done, but that we don't hold on to that and make that our value, our ultimate value. That sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do. That's the truth of it. That's what Hanukkah is about. Why do we celebrate the 8-day candle miracle? By the way, it's not candles, of course, it's oil. Why do we celebrate an 8-day oil miracle? Surely we should be celebrating something else. The victory of the Maccabees, the reestablishment, the rededication, the Chanukah, that means dedication, of the temple. That's what we should be celebrating. And we do. If you read the prayers carefully, that's what we celebrate, not the miracle of oil. So where did the miracle of oil come from? Why do we have it? What does it say to us? Well, I think it says, one thing it says to us, among the many things it might say to us, is pay attention. Look, miracles, they happen. And sometimes they happen in the smallest places. Just lighting a bit of oil that happens to last 8 days rather than one, against all the scientific evidence that they could have gathered at that time, that's a miracle. And so, doing a little thing and noticing it, that's the miracle. We don't have to go for the big things. It's the little things. And if each of us does the little thing, we end up with the miracle of all time, which is our survival as a Jewish people, and more than survival, because who wants that? I don't want to just survive. I want to thrive. I want to, produce. I want to be great. I want to make things happen in the world. That's the true mission of the Jewish people. Okay, now you're going to perform your own little miracle by getting up off your seats and going to the tables. Find a Chanukiah, and I'm going to invite Sue to come up and light the gigantic one up here that will rationalize all of this. Okay. I want to remind you of a few of the niceties of the festival. One of the niceties is that there's a proper way to load the Chanukiah, and there's a proper way to light the Chanukiah. So when we load it, as we're facing it, we put in the candles from right to left. But when we light them, we light from left to right. And that's so we light the newest candle, the most evident expression of the miracle first. So check your Chanukiah and make sure that the candles are in the right order. Loaded from right to left. That's correct. That's correct. Okay. Now, there's one extra candle, isn't there? What's that called?
Shamash!
Are you calling for someone? Yeah. He's looking for a shamash. Is there, what do you call that extra candle? The shamash. The shamash, which is related to the word shemesh, which means sun.
And you use that
And you'll be using that, but you'll see that one is taller than the others.
Yeah, I took it out.
That's where the shamash sits. So its light is shed over the others. We're not supposed to use the light of the Hanukkah candles. We only admire them. Hi, Paul. Shabbat
Do you
shalom.
remember on my 80th birthday you came to me for
I
dinner?
do.
Yeah, and I
we
wanted you
lit
to light the Hanukkah and you wouldn't because
It wasn't dark yet. I do. Okay, so if you can light the shamash candle, but don't light the other candles yet, because we have 2 brachot to recite. By the way, is there anyone here who has not yet celebrated Hanukkah? Don't be shy. Is there anyone here who hasn't yet celebrated Hanukkah? Yeah? Somebody? You haven't? Good. Then we'll say 3 brachot. We'll also say the Shehachianu prayer, because there's someone here who's doing this for the first time this season. So, as we hold the shamash candle, we sing, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'adlik nir shel Chanukah. Don't light yet. That thanks God for the lights of Hanukkah, but now we have to thank God for the miracles that God performed for our people in those days, in this season of the year. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa nisim la'avoteinu, bayamim hahem b'zman hazeh. And for all those who haven't yet lit a Hanukkah candle, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehachianu v'hegianu lazman hazeh. The silence tells you can light. Isn't this beautiful? That's it. We light the furthest left candle first. There are a couple of free here. Hi, John. How are you? You celebrated your birthday recently, didn't you? Yes. Happy birthday. I think I saw you come up.
There was an awesome guy called David who's been just coming to
David? David? There are some free ones up here if you'd like to light. Anybody else? Would you like to light? Here you go. There are a couple of free ones here. This one has to be fixed. It was put on the wrong end. The candles were put on the wrong end. Oh, isn't this great? Now, Hanukkah is a time for socializing, so some of you are doing that. Hanukkah is a time for playing with dreidels. Anybody gambling here right now? Yeah? The Tats Lotto or something? And Hanukkah is a time for singing this song. One little candle, one little candle, one little candle burning bright. Light the menorah, because it is Hanukkah tonight. Two little candles, two little candles, two little candles burning bright. Light the menorah, because it is Hanukkah tonight. Three little candles, three little candles, three little candles burning bright. Light the menorah, because it is Hanukkah tonight. Frozen, it's a frozen Hanukkah. It's frozen on your t-shirt. Great, whoa, okay. But there's another song that we always sing. After we've lit the candles, as we watch them burn, we sing Maos Tzur.
Mao Tzur Yeshuati Lechana El Shabeach Tikon Beit Tefilati B'Sham Toda Nizabeach V'Tachid Matbeach Mitzach Hamnabeach Azegmo V'Shir Nizmo Chanukat HaMizbeach Azegmo V'Shir Nizmo Chanukat HaMizbeach.
Beautiful. Of course, there are 5 more verses to that, but don't worry, Melina, I won't ask you to sing them all. Just wanted to ask one more question about Hanukkah while we enjoy the lights surrounding us. Judah Maccabee was only one of 5 brothers. Does anybody know the names of the other brothers? Do you know any of the names of the other brothers? Well, Yehuda was the one I mentioned. Any others? Sorry? He was his father, but that's good that you knew that. No? Shimon? Ring a bell at all? No? Yonatan? Yochanan? Elazar. Those are the 5 brothers, and each of them in the actual story is very important because each of them at some point is the leader of the Jewish troops, if you will. But after they finally won their 2 decades-long war against the Seleucid Greeks, see, we thought it was over in a day. It's not. It was a war, and it lasted 2 decades. And they'd reestablished the temple and rededicated it with Chanukah, the rededication ceremony. They gave rise to a whole dynasty of rulers in Israel. Does anybody know the name of that dynasty? Well done, Rebecca. Anybody else who didn't hear her? No. Anybody? Anybody here from Britain? Anybody here from Great Britain? Nobody's here from Great Britain? That can't be. There's one. So there's a Jewish school in outside of London that's named after this dynasty. What's it called, Sue? The Hasmonean School. Have you ever heard that name? Hasmoneans? Hashmonai in Hebrew. They actually came out of the Maccabees. It was only Judah who was called Maccabee. The others were called other things, but that gave rise to that dynasty. That dynasty fell. And it fell very, very badly. It was a disaster. And the reason they gave was something that we can really relate to today. Basically, it was bad governance. We know all about that, says Brenda. Bad governance. What do I mean by that? There was a checks and balances system in ancient Israel. You had the king, but you also had the priest, and the king and the priest could never be the same person. And then you had the prophets. And among those 3 roles, they were able to ensure proper governance for all the people. The Hasmoneans took kingship and priesthood and brought them together in one person. And that was the downfall of the Hasmoneans. Isn't that interesting? I don't have to spell out anything for you, do I? No, of course not. Let's let's carry on. Oh, I have to sing one more Hanukkah song, but I need the kids to help me. So anybody here under 85? Okay. If you are, could you stand up, please? Only just. Very good. If you're over 85, you're excused from this. So you guys can remain seated. Okay. This is a spinning top song. It's called Sivivon Sof Sof Sof. The spinning top, the dreidel, spins and spins and spins. Okay, now, I have a problem with this song. I always forget the words halfway through. They're so complicated. But if I do, I'll just la, la, la. But the important thing are the movements, not the words. We are the Sivivon, Sivivonot. So if you could take your hands, please, and put them over your head like this. That's the top of the dreidel. Your feet are the bottom of the dreidel. And as we spin, we're dreidels. Here we go.
Sivivon, sof, 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 Chanukah, hu chatov, Chanukah, hu chatov, Sivivon, sof, sof, sof.
Now the other way around.
Nes gadol haya sham, sof nat sof kom lacho, nes gadol haya sham.
And then everybody falls down. No, you don't, because we'll never get you up again. Thank you for indulging me. For me, it's not Hanukkah without that song. If you'd like to turn to page 138 in the Siddur, we'll continue with Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamo v'sacho b'dibur echad, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשמו תפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באור קומי אורי, 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 שדברי. כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תעריצי. היד איש בן פרצי, בן נשמחה ונגילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We stand and face the door to welcome the Shabbat bride.
בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך תודי, לך תודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
At this point, we normally ask everyone to wish one another Shabbat Shalom, but I think we've been doing that all evening so far, so we'll go straight into the lighting of the Shabbat candles. Now, Rebecca earlier gave the correct answer for the Hasmoneans, and therefore she is invited to light the Shabbat candles this evening. I mean, I did ask you before, didn't I? Just knew, I had this feeling. Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. If you'd like to be seated as we continue with Psalm 92, Mizmor Shel Yom HaShabbat, on page 140.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות, עלי עשו ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בחינו. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך ארנן. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. איש בעל לא ידע, וכסיל לא יבין את זאת. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. צדיק אתה מה יפרח, כארץ בלבנון, בלבנון יזכה שתוגים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו, עוד ינובון בשבע, דשנים ורעננים יהיו, להגיד כי ישר אדוני צורי ולא
Adonai malach geud lavesh Adonai oz hitazal. Af tikon tevel bal timot. Nachon kisacha meaz meolam ata. And at the foot of that Psalm 93, above the thunder of the mighty waters, more majestic than the breakers of the sea, is the Eternal One, majestic on high. Your decrees are indeed enduring. Holiness befits your house, O God, for all time. Please turn to page 144 and please rise for the Reader's Kaddish.
יתקדש ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
בהמה תפרח ירותה וימיך מלכותה. בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דחור בית ישראל. בהגדה ובזמן קריב. ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך. לעולם ולעולמי המיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל. שמי דקודשה בריחו אלא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן לעלמה. ואמרו אמן. ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Please be seated. Thank you. Let's continue with the blessing on page 148. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'dvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chokhmah poteach sha'arim ובתבונה משנה עתים ומחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב ערבים.
אהבת עולם,
אהבת עולם
בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, נגה יומם ולילה, ואחוותך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו Hashem, kevod malchuto, leolam vaed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha vehayu advarim ha'ele asher chanochi metzavecha היום הלבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך ויאמר אדוני למשה לאמור דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם ונתנו על ציצית הכנף בציר תכלת והיה לכם לציצית וראיתם אותו וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
The next part of our service, the blessings that follow the Shema, focus on the miracles that God performed for our people in the days when we were enslaved in Egypt. But those remembrances echo down through history for us. And in place of this reading, and before we sing the Mi Chamocha to a holiday tune, I'd like to ask you to turn to page 556 for the addition which is normally made as part of the Amidah, the Tefillah on Chanukah, but because that's silent for us in the evening service, so we're going to read it here. And you'll note certain words which I've already introduced for you, so you'll be able to follow this story quite well. Al ha-nisim v'al ha-purkan v'al ha-gvorot v'al ha-teshuot v'al ha-milchamot she'asita la'avotenu b'yamim hahem b'zman hazeh. We thank you for the miracles, for the redemption, for the mighty deeds and saving acts brought about by you, and for the wars which you waged for our ancestors in the days of old at this season. Bimei Matatyahu ben Yochanan, Kohen Gadol, in the days of the Hasmoneans. Mattathias ben Yochanan, the high priest, and his children, when the evil government of Greece rose up against your people Israel to make them forget your Torah and to make them leave the laws of your will. In your great mercy you rose up with them in their time of trouble and fought in their fight, judging their cause just. You delivered the mighty into the hands of the weak, the many into the hands of the few, the unclean into the hands of the pure, the evil into the hands of the righteous, and the arrogant into the hands of those who engage in your Torah. You made for yourself a great and holy name in your world, and for your people Israel you brought about the great triumph and redemption on that very day. And then your children came to the Holy of Holies. They emptied your temple and purified your holy place, and they kindled lights in your holy courts and established these 8 days of Chanukah, grateful to acknowledge and to praise your great name. And that's what we celebrate through these 8 days of Chanukah. on page 158.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot usefere, nora tehilot usefere, nora tehilot usefere, malchutecha ra'u vanecha, בוקר הים לפני משה ומרים, זהינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי אדוני את יעקב, וגדול מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך, והושיענו למען שמך. Let's read the English together. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up, our sovereign, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Baruch atah Adonai, hapoeh sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Do you have a really upbeat, not the usual one?
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, 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 לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית תודה. בני ובן בני ישראל אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, 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 כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת.
Well done, Sharon. That was on the spur of the moment. I asked for that. So we've come to the tefillah. If you'd like to stand, please. It's on page 164 and following. And our custom here at Temple Beth Israel is to recite the first three brachot together, and then we continue in silence. There'll be plenty of time for you to complete your personal prayers this evening, either reading the words on the page in Hebrew or in English, or reciting the prayers of your heart. And when you've concluded, you may be seated.
Adonai שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה אלוהי רבקה אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא עליון גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה אתה גימור לעולם אדוני מחיה מתים אתה רב והושיע משיב ארוך מוריד הגשם מסריח השמש מוריד הטל מחכה חיים בחסד מחיה מתים ברחמים רבים סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומיתות מלך מלך מתוך חיי ומשמיח ישוע ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Thank you so much, Sharon. That was beautiful. We still have some candles burning, so we're just inside this Hanukkah window here. Of course, they'll be going for all night long. But it gives me an opportunity to share with you a few words. It'll only take a half an hour. First of all, who remembers the date on which the battle between the Maccabees and the Seleucid Greeks began? The year. Oh, you're so close. We'll give it to you. 167 before the Common Era. Of course, that's debated by scholars, and some think it was 165 before the Common Era, but who's going to quibble about a couple of years, 2,000 years ago? Well, that was pretty poor. Let's try another one, except for you. Who remembers the name of one of Yehuda Maccabee's brothers? Shimon. Oh, fantastic. Any others that you happen to remember? Yonatan, Yochanan, Elazar. Well done. Okay, we have a Maccabee expert over here. She competes in the Ajax Maccabee World Competition for curious questions. And my final one is, what's the name of the dynasty that Yehuda Maccabee set up? Oh, you all know that one, the Hasmoneans. Well done. Let's turn to page 586 and rise for the Aleinu. I don't want to go straight to the other. I'll interrupt it with some English, okay?
Okay. עלינו לשבח אדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שכונתי שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
On page 588. שהוא נוטה
שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות ערב אביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת עינות.
And on page 591.
ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
Please Please remain standing and turn to page 598 for Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. At this time, we remember all those who have passed away. We think of all of our loved ones who are no longer here with us to share these festive seasons, the season of Chanukah. We think of those in Israel who've suffered greatly for the past 15, 16 months, and we wish a speedy return to those held hostage. We think of those in the Shiva, the first week since their passing, and in this community, Paul, Skit, Jason. Those in the Shloshim, the first month since their passing, Albert Isaacs, Lawrence John Levy, John Unglick. And we think of those whose yahrzeits fall at this time. Sylvia Angel, Emery Ballant, Barbara Biggio, Morris Bliss, Mauricia Brooks, Raymond Cohen, Erwin Eisfelder, Eric Eisinger, Michael Elton, Henrik Fabusiak, Metik Greenglass, Edna Jacobs, Nathan Jacobson, Bella Jakubowicz, Penny Jakubowicz, Lillian James, Israel Jedwab, Shirley Kaminsky, Bruce Labransky, Aaron Marcuse, Victor Nathan, Ann Newson, Robert Reese, Ignacy Rosenthal, Rebecca Samuel McKinnon, Harry Siegel, Ray Singer. Some of the people in mourning we know are gathered together on the peninsula, on Mornington Peninsula, at this time and remembering their loved ones there. If anyone here did not hear a name mentioned that you would like to hear spoken out loud, please do so as I look around the congregation this evening. Good. The memories of all of them are with us as we recite Kaddish Yatom, page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ba'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei techol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitboach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'al v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadal v'yitale v'yithalal Shemei dikudesha b'wichu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata da'amiran ba'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru.
Amen.
If you'd like to be seated, please. We don't normally have announcements any longer, I think, on Friday evenings. But I would like to invite you to join us tomorrow morning, if you're free, for Shabbat Chanukah morning service. We'll be including the Hallel in the service, which is really beautiful. We'll be reading from a couple of scrolls. And we have wonderful people laning Torah tomorrow morning. And we are also celebrating something we have never before celebrated at this synagogue, at least to my knowledge, and that is a Shabbat Chatan. It's kind of the other end of an Ofruf. The Ofruf is celebrated before a wedding. Shabbat Chatan is celebrated after the wedding. So the groom will be returning here to receive an aliyah, and that'll be very special. So, and that's Ken and Esther Daniel's son, Joshua, with his wife, Ashley. So if any of you'd like to come along and show them support, that would be great. I know they really appreciate it, and they are putting on a very special kiddush afterwards as well. I know how important that is to all of us. The final song tonight, I'd like us to sing Shalom Aleichem, which is on page
142.
142. Oh, Sharon, what would I do without you? Because Shalom Aleichem is normally sung as we leave the synagogue and return to our homes to continue our Shabbat celebrations around our tables. And I think it's lovely to conclude the service with Shalom Aleichem, and after that we'll have the Kiddush as well.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Yod, Mimelech, Malachei Hamrachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Yod, Mimelech, Malachei Hamrachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Yod, Mimelech, Malachei Hamrachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Setchem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Yod, Mimelech, Malachei Hamrachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Wonderful. If you'd like to stand for the Kiddush, we'll make Kiddush up here, and then afterwards there's wine, grape juice, and challah on the back table, maybe some donuts, who knows, some sufganiyot. No latkes, I'm afraid. How many people here are latka people? Yeah, let's hear it. How many people here are sufganiyot people? That's the appropriate rata. Absolutely. Okay, here we go. So we're on page 122 if you want to follow. Vayehi erev vayehi boker yom hashishi vayechulu hashamayim va'aretz v'chol tzvam vayechal Elohim bayom hashvi melachto asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvi mikol melachto asher asa vayevarach Elohim et yom hashvi vayekadesh oto kivo Shabbat mikol melachto Asher bawa Elohim lasot. Savrei. And you say l'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchiranu zikaron b'maaseh bereishit ki hu yom techila v'mikra'e kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'chata ve'otanu kidasha mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchatanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
Amen. And we'll have to go to the back for the bread, I think. But come with us. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. What would I do without her, I must say. What would I do without her? There you go.